of interesting rumours earlier on today regarding Jesse Lingard. Apparently West Ham have offered him a short-term contract, which is very incentive-based, but that's just the rumour for now. We'll deal with that later on in the video. We've also got an update on Konstantinos Mavropanos. Now I'm getting his full name in now, so later on in the video I can just call him Mavropanos. I don't have to deal with the full name. That's over and done with. But let's start with the news. Not a rumour, the news. Tim Steidten, our technical director, is currently in the Netherlands. He's in Amsterdam right now negotiating with Ajax over the signing of Mohammed Kudus. Now I'm starting to get very, very excited about this one, I have to confess, because when we were linked to him last week, I got a little excited. I thought, oh, I'd love to see him in the claret and blue this season. Now that Tim Steidten's there, it feels, I'm going to say it feels inevitable. It feels like this deal is going to happen and Kudus will sign for West Ham. Ajax are open to selling him, Kudus is open to joining West Ham, and we want to buy him. So when that happens, when the player's up for it and both clubs are up for it, it feels like it's going to become a deal. So fingers crossed he becomes a hammer. But Tim Steidten's gone over there. Obviously he went to Mexico last week to get Edson Alvarez. He got him. He's gone to Amsterdam to negotiate with Ajax. And Ajax are under a little bit of pressure. I say they need to sell him. They don't need to sell him. But last summer they had this with Anthony. It went on all summer where Man U wanted Anthony and there was a lot of negotiating, and then they got a lot of money for him. So they did well out the deal. But they had no time to spend. It was so late in the window, they couldn't spend the money. They can't afford to do the same thing again. Now, the rumours are they're wanting over 34 million, which is what Brighton agreed with Ajax, which just comes as no surprise. This is something Ajax do. Once the season's underway, the price goes up because now you're trying to buy one of their first team players when they've got a role to play. So, what the price will be, I don't know. I don't think it'll reach the 40. I don't think it'll be that much more than 34 million. But the fact is, Tim Steidten is in the Netherlands. West Ham fans, I think it's time to get excited about this one. I think it's time to believe that he could become a hammer. Now, obviously, there could be a bit of a ploy there. There's still clubs like Chelsea and Arsenal being linked to him as well. So maybe it's a bit of a move on his agent's part to bring those clubs to the table. But I don't know. I've got a good feeling about this one. Now, naturally, when we see the Kudus move gaining a bit of momentum, Steidten going over there, and that would strongly suggest that this is the priority transfer. Like we said, we've been linked to Mavropanos a lot as well, but this is obviously the one at the top of Steidten's priority list, that he's gone there to deal with this one personally, and I like that. I like seeing him out there being the face of West Ham when it comes to transfer negotiations, trying to get the players involved. I've seen an article last week about Alvarez saying that Tim Steidten was the one that rang him and sold West Ham to him. So it looks like we've changed how we go about things, and we're using Steidten as that guy that's going to sell the club to the potential transfer. So this is good. This is good news. But anyway, so when we're getting linked to Kudus, and I got excited last week, naturally you start thinking, hey, is this because we're expecting Paqueta to go? Is Steidten currently in the Netherlands because we want Paqueta? Now, for him to feature against Chelsea, and a bit like Ward-Prowse, he's had his pre-season, he's already played a game for Ajax, so he doesn't require a pre-season. Kudus, unlike Alvarez, he'd had to sign by tomorrow, Friday at 12 o'clock, which it seems incredibly unlikely that we'd get that done. So I don't think we'll have him for the Sunday's game, but certainly for next weekend we should have him in the team. I'm hopeful. But you start to think, are we now expecting Lucas Paqueta to go to Man City? And when I spoke about how Ajax want the deal to happen, West Ham want the deal to happen, and Kudus is open to the deal happening, it feels inevitable. Well, when it comes to Paqueta wants to go to Man City. Man City want him. Pep Guardiola did his press conference today. Now, the latest news regarding Kevin De Bruyne is he is out for 4 months, or up to 4 months. Always leave a little bit of wiggle room, the journalists, don't they? Up to 4 months De Bruyne is out for. Pep's confirmed he's injured. Pep's confirmed another one will be coming in. So they will be signing somebody. And Lucas Paqueta's the only one they've really been strongly linked to in his position. They're still being linked to Jérémy Doku, just as West Ham are, but also Spurs. It's apparently West Ham are the ones that have got the most serious offer. We're the ones that are most advanced in talks regarding Doku. Now, I'm not getting my hopes up on that one. I still don't believe that one. I'm still not really convinced that we're going to get him, unlike Kudus. So Man City will be signing someone. Paqueta wants to go there. West Ham, through their unofficial channels as always, have made it clear we're open to selling him. It's just that they've got to meet the price, which is apparently 85 million. I just hope that Paqueta's available on Sunday. I hope that Man City don't make a bid tonight or tomorrow, which means Moyes can't play Paqueta in case he gets injured. Because if I was Man City and Paqueta was my number one target, I think I'd be putting down a very serious offer to get him out of that squad on Sunday. You do not want Paqueta to be playing against Chelsea. Maybe they're uncertain about him and they want to see him one more time. But I struggle to believe that a game against Chelsea is going to decide if Man City pay 85 million for him or not. Certainly you'll want to go out there and impress, but you can't base your decision on an 85 million transfer on 90 minutes against Chelsea, playing the way that West Ham play. But you know what I mean, right? So if City are serious, I would not be surprised this bid comes in, which gets him at the team. Now, long term, I think that would benefit West Ham. I think it would benefit David Moyes that he's got to go with his new look midfield on the second game of the season. How that would look, I don't know. I think I know how it would look. Alvarez, Ward-Prowse and Souček. But I think Fornals made a very big case for himself against Bournemouth to have Paqueta's position. We'd have to wait and see. But short term, and that's what I'm interested in here, short term, the best chance of getting something on Sunday against Chelsea is with their 11 best players available on the pitch, and Lucas Paqueta is one of them. Lucas Paqueta is the first name on the team sheet at the minute, so I hope he plays on Sunday, but I wouldn't be surprised if City do something which makes it a little bit difficult for David Moyes to put him out. Anyway, before we go any further, we've got some more transfer rumours, including Eze. I know. Look, I don't make the rumours up. We just discussed them. We're going to discuss Eze in just a second, and Lingard. But before I do, please do drop a like on the video if you're enjoying it, and subscribe if you're new to Hammers Chat. Thank you very much to you who have subscribed recently. We're approaching that 33,000 mark. It'd be nice to hit that soon. Make me feel good. It doesn't do anything to the channel. The likes up does. It helps YouTube promote the video. But in terms of subscriber count, not really. I just feel good off the back of it. So yeah, subscribe if you're new. As for Konstantinos Mavropanos, hey, I'm getting used to saying this name now, haven't I? Konstantinos Mavropanos. When I recorded that the first time the other day, I think I took like 6 takes or something. I don't know what. I was practically calling Kevin by the end of it. Kevin the Greek. We're linked to him strongly. Now, while we've been linked to a lot of centre-backs in the last 2 or 3 days, his name is the most consistent and his name seems the most prominent now. So if I'd put money on signing a centre-back, it would be Mavropanos. On the video I did the other day, a lot of people were commenting about how they were excited. It's got me a little bit excited actually about how he's quite quick, can play right back. He's one of the better defenders in Bundesliga. And as I admitted, I watch German football, but I don't watch Stuttgart. I count one hand the amount of times I've seen Stuttgart in the last couple of seasons. In his final 12 months of his contract, I didn't realise that. So that's going to dictate the price a little bit and give West Ham an advantage in these negotiations. So it looks like Mavropanos, it feels there's something in that, the rumour. The only thing that makes me hesitant is the alternative centre-backs play for Bayer Leverkusen, where Steidten's come from. If we weren't linked to those centre-backs as well, I'd probably be a bit more accepting of the Mavropanos rumour. But then, this is where I play my own devil's advocate. Are we only being linked to the Leverkusen centre-backs? Is it just lazy journalism because we've now got Steidten? Oh, well, let's have a look at West Ham need a striker. Oh, let's have a look at the Leverkusen ones. Oh, Patrick Schick. Yeah, let's link him to... I'm surprised we've not been linked to him yet, actually. Let's link any Leverkusen player that West Ham need a position. Search the Leverkusen squad. Link that player to West Ham. Job done. I'm not saying that's what they do. Well, I think it's what some people do, to be honest with you. Anyway, I say the big rumour, the clickbait rumour, maybe, is probably in the title of the video. Charlie's probably put me in the thumbnail, is Crystal Palace's Eze. Don't worry, I don't believe it either, right? Let me make this clear. I don't believe this rumour. I don't believe it. Sometimes when we discuss this, people say, oh, why do you believe... I literally say in the video, I don't believe the rumour, but I do not believe this rumour. West Ham are being linked to Crystal Palace's Eze. That's from Miguel Delaney, I think his second name is Delaney. He writes for The Independent. Now it's off the back of Elise signing a new contract to Crystal Palace. Fantastic for Palace. You know something, I've said it about 5 times already. I'm going to say it again. I love this. I love this non-Champions League club hanging on to their players. Not really applicable to West Ham after Sal Rice and possibly Lucas Paqueta. But we stuck to our guns. We've got our prices for these players and we're sticking to it and we're getting the money for them. Just like Brighton have sold Caicedo, but they came up with their price point and they stuck to it. So yes, they sold them, but they ain't getting taken for mugs by the Champions League clubs like we used to. And Crystal Palace, good on them. This is another example. Instead of Elise going to Chelsea, and Chelsea activated his release clause, there was nothing Palace could do about it. Elise's ended up signing a new deal with Crystal Palace today. Listen, he's had a bumper pay rise, but if I was a Palace fan, I'd be ecstatic with this news. Now, there was a rumour that because Palace were selling Elise, or expecting to sell Elise, they were wanting 60 million for Eze. Now, I actually think that's quite cheap. In this market today that we're in, when Caicedo is 150 million, I think 60 million for Eze is cheap. With Elise signing a contract now, Is Eze more gettable? I don't think so, to be honest with you. But we were linked to him in the article, along with Spurs and a couple of other clubs. And I would love him. When Paqueta got linked with a move away, 3 names came to my mind. Mohammed Kudus, hence why I'm excited. Eze and Morgan Gibbs-White. That's the 3 players. I thought if we could get one of them in to replace Paqueta, I'd be buzzing. I'm not getting excited over this transfer rumour because I don't believe it whatsoever. I hope it's true. Now, as for... Actually, we'll do the last one and then we'll go back to Jesse Lingard. So Solanke, Jacob Steinberg said we had a £40 million bid for Solanke rejected earlier in the month. Not recently, earlier in the month. We were linked to Solanke a couple of weeks ago, so maybe we did actually bid and rejected it. So do you know when I was just speaking about how I like seeing all these non-Champions League clubs having a bit of a spine, rejecting big money, demanding big money for their players? Well, thank God, because that means Bournemouth rejected our bid for Solanke. 40 million. What? It doesn't mean it's true, but Steinberg's generally a really reliable reporter when it comes to West Ham. 40 million for Solanke. That would insinuate it's our first bid as well, because usually we hear about the bids, not always. But that's what I would expect to be our 5th bid for Solanke. Surely we started at 20 million and started working our way up or something. 40 million? Now, it wouldn't be cash up front. It's not like we've said guaranteed. I'd imagine it'd be worth 40 million, maybe 25 million, plus a stupid 15 million of add-ons or something, and that's giving West Ham the benefit of the doubt here. 40 million? I mean, he's all right. Listen, Solanke did well against us on... Don't get me wrong, Solanke played well against us on Saturday. I thought he bullied Agard. I thought he won the battle out of those two. Decent enough goal, striker's goal, being alert, unlike Zuma. Good goal. So he scored against us on Saturday, but doesn't mean I want to see him at West Ham, especially not for 40 million. Jesus, this is why Bournemouth think Solanke's worth greater than 40 million. He's worth more than 40. 60 million for Eze now suddenly looks like a bargain, doesn't it? Wow. I'm glad Bournemouth reject. Usually when West Ham go after players, I hope we get them. This window, I found myself hoping we don't get them quite often. Harry Maguire and Dominic Solanke, put them on the list where we've gone after a player and I thought, please do not sell us that player. Help us. As for Jesse Lingard, right, a lot of rumours today. We've offered Jesse Lingard a short-term contract, heavily incentive-based, so, you know, X thousand per appearance, maybe Y thousand per goal. You know what's about. Because... He's unwanted. I say unwanted at the minute. He's got offers, but not from the Premier League. He's gone to Nottingham Forest a year ago. Now, the reason I haven't covered it, I'm going to be completely honest with you here. The reason I haven't done a video on it, and to be fair, I wish I could because it's good views. Hey, it's good for the channel. We do videos about Lingard. It's good for the channel. But I feel like I can't because I feel like I'm almost compromised a little bit. So when Jesse Lingard joined West Ham on loan, what was that, 2.5 years ago now? Was it back? It wasn't. Wow, that was a long time ago. It feels like it was only like last season or something. You know, I struggle sometimes with like timelines. When I think of a match, I struggle with what season it was. And to think that Lingard signed for us in January 2021, 2.5 years ago. No, I'm not. Anyway, when he came, I sort of stumbled upon someone connected to Jesse Lingard, and he was meant to do an interview with us, and it got stopped, for which we've spoken about briefly, but it didn't happen for whatever reason. But off the back of that, when the person I stumbled upon, I ended up keeping in touch with. So the whole time he's been back at Man United, I've been speaking to this person and vice versa. And you don't have to believe me here, but hopefully the subscribers back then remember this. When he was linked to us the following season, so January 2022, so he stayed at Man U. That summer we went after him, we couldn't get him. Man U needed to keep him because Rashford got injured. So January 22 came round, Rashford was now back at Man U, and Lingard had no minutes. So the expectation was he was going to go out on loan. Newcastle really wanted him. Eddie Howe had just gone in at Newcastle, they wanted him. So it was between us and them, but Man U wouldn't give us him because we were rivals in the league position. We were close, and they were right. At the end of the season, Man U finished just above us. But the reasoning for not giving us Lingard back on loan or selling him to us was, well, if Lingard turns up at your club, scores a handful of goals, bear in mind he smashed it, scores a few goals, that's the difference between 4 points more for West Ham. That could see West Ham finish above Man U, and that would be incredibly embarrassing for Man United. well, they were proven correct by the table and the league positions at the end of the season. But all this time, in that January in particular, I remember on deadline day, there was a lot of talk he was coming back to West Ham. And the person I spoke to said, no, he's not coming. I promise you, Gio, he's not coming because of those reasons. And I remember doing a video saying he's not coming. And I remember getting a lot of grief from people saying, hey, this person, that person said he's coming, you're wrong. I was like, well, we'll see. I put my neck on the line a little bit. Turned out to be correct. He didn't come back. The same people didn't come back and say, fair play, you got that one right. They just disappeared. Anyway, my point is, I feel a little bit compromised because I know someone in connection to Jesse Lingard. So when Jesse Lingard didn't come back, I was getting told this is why he's not coming, this is why he's not coming. And I haven't put it up on videos because I don't think he told me in order to put up on videos. And we, believe it or not, try and stay away from the whole in the know stuff. It's not really something we do. We don't have in the know stuff. I don't know anyone. I just know what you guys see in the news. I see the same things as you do. But in regards to Lingard, there has possibly been information I've been given by someone that knows Jesse Lingard. Hopefully that makes sense. So the reason I've stayed away from it is because there's stuff that's not in the public domain that I'm aware of, I've been told, which I think that influences my opinion on Jesse Lingard returning to West Ham. Hopefully that makes sense. Now what I will say, putting all that to one side, I don't believe he's been offered a contract yet. The rumours are he's been offered a contract. I don't believe that. I think that is incorrect. He's not been offered it. He's in training at West Ham to keep his fitness up. And does he want to impress West Ham? Of course he does. We're a Premier League club. Why would he not want to impress? He's still got his gaff in Stratford, I think, or Canary Wharf, wherever it is, which I think is in the same block as David Moyes. I think he's still got it or can have it. He's in training at West Ham. A lot of the players will still be there that he played with, and he loved his time at West Ham. He played his best football at West Ham. But it doesn't really matter what happened in the past. It's what's best for West Ham going forward. In Jesse Lingard, to be thinking what's best for Jesse Lingard going forward. He made a mistake. He made a mistake going to Nottingham Forest. Was it money based? Possibly. But I don't blame him. Football's a job. He's going to pick what is best for him financially. A lot of the reasons we sign players is because of money. Let's go back to the player at the very start of this video, Mohammed Kudus, who was in negotiations with Brighton, not 2 weeks ago maybe. He was in negotiations with Brighton. They couldn't agree personal terms. They weren't offering him enough money, so he didn't go to Brighton. But he might come to West Ham. Now, we will have an appeal in some regards that Brighton currently don't. We've just won the trophy. We're in London. If that appeals to him or not, I don't know. But in terms of European football going forward, well, Brighton are okay in that situation as well. But what do? We have more wages. We have bigger wages than what Brighton can offer. There's a good chance Kudus is joining West Ham. There was a good chance he didn't join Brighton because of money, and the reason he's joining West Ham because he's financially satisfied with our offer. And I have no problems with that at all. To footballers, football is a job. Clubs are a place of employment. They're going to go where they feel they're getting the best value. There's various reasons for joining clubs. It's not always financial based. It could be a step up in competition. It could be because they're playing Champions League football, they want to go there. It could be they want to play in the Premier League because they think it's the best league in the world. It could just be because of money. And it could be that Kudus is joining West Ham because of money. I don't mind that. If that's his motivation for joining West Ham, it doesn't bother me. It's part of football. So when we miss out on players because of money, it doesn't bother me really. We win some transfers because of it. We'll lose some transfers because of it. I don't take it too personally. It is what it is. Would I have liked him to have come last summer? Of course I did. Was I disappointed he didn't? Yes, I was. Was I angry he didn't? A little bit, because I thought we showed faith in him. And I think him coming to West Ham would have been successful. He went to Forest. It was a shambles of a transfer. Do I want him back at West Ham? Kind of. I think he's got something to offer. It depends on the contract, but we've got the power on this one. A year ago, Jesse Lingard had the power because we knew what he could do, but he also knew what he could give West Ham. He was in demand. He's less in demand this time round. He probably feels like he made a mistake not coming to West Ham. The power is now in our hands for negotiation. So this whole incentive-based short-term deal, it could get done. And if it does get done, he's replacing Lanzini. But I'll tell you something. We've not had a player at this club since Jesse Lingard, 2.5 years ago now, that can do what Jesse Lingard can do, which is travel with the ball. It sounds so simple, but I remember when he was with us, he was picking the ball up inside our half and just driving at the opposition defence. That counter-attacking football, we were fantastic to watch. this is what I say, like, I'm not a fan of Moyes' football, I don't like it. But that spell that we had under Lingard, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching West Ham a lot. I thought we played some fantastic football. And Lingard was pivotal to that. The way that he played football was pivotal. And we've missed him. We've missed a player that's able to do that. Paqueta's got the flair, but he doesn't have that speed that Lingard does. Lingard would be coming in to replace Manuel Lanzini. Play 10 games. Do a bit in the Europa League, do a bit in the Premier League. That's all you've got to do, essentially. Be an option off the bench, and he would be. So I'm open to it. I understand, but for what it's worth, if fans don't want him back, I get it. You don't have to convince me why you don't want Jesse Lingard back. I get it. I get why people wouldn't want him. But I'm open to it. Will I be doing cartwheels? No, but I'll be doing cartwheels if we sign Mohammed Kudus. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. That's enough blabbering for me. Please do drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to Hammer's Chat. I'll catch you tomorrow.